Hi, I'm Doug Keck, EWTN President and Chief Operating Officer, and I'm pleased that you've decided to join me for our new season preview. It's a great chance for us to give you a sneak peek at some of the quality Catholic programming you can expect to see in the coming weeks and months ahead here on EWTN. You'll get an update on those classic EWTN programs you've come to rely on, while getting a glimpse of some exciting new series premiering in March. We'll also fill you in on major live events as well as special features that you won't want to miss. You know, with 11 distinct programming channels beaming around the globe, you'll find us in Canada, the U.S., Latin America, the U.K., Europe, Africa, South Asia, India, the Pacific Rim. We're in English, Spanish, and even in German. In fact, virtually anyone who wants to can now access EWTN TV and radio programming 24/7 anywhere in the world. Thanks to your support, EWTN is everywhere. You know, a great place to start is with our website, www.ewtn.com. Here you can view all of our live TV streams and see what's available on demand. Our online library is a great place to get answers to your questions about the faith. On the go? Well, just download our app for your mobile device to gain quick access to the entire site, plus a very special Bible section. And you know, speaking of online, you can also listen live to our radio network channels throughout the world. That includes service providers like iHeartRadio, iTunes Radio, and TuneIn Radio. Now, if you've got satellite radio in your car, well, we're there too. Just go to EWTN.com/radio for information about our programming lineup and network outlets. No matter where you happen to be, with the turn of that dial or the push of that button, you're sure to find EWTN Radio. Our Holy Father, Pope Francis, continues to challenge all of us to evangelize the world by using digital and social media to their utmost potential. You know, just as Mother Angelica began to use mass media back in 1981 to reach the masses, so too EWTN Today can be found everywhere on all forms of social media, proclaiming the good news of Christ and His Church. With more than 500,000 likes, we're clearly expanding our reach through Facebook. Still, we need your help to get our likes up to a full million, maybe this year. Make sure you also check us out on Instagram and LinkedIn. Share us with your friends on Pinterest at pinterest.com/EWTN. You can also follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/EWTN. Plus, be sure to tune into the programs you want whenever you want them with EWTN's YouTube channel at youtube.com/EWTN. Our social media outlets are a great way to get EWTN programming updates. You can get prayers, the latest Catholic news, and what's happening at the network. The word is out. EWTN News Nightly is now the leading source for global news from a Catholic perspective. EWTN News Nightly, anchored by Brian Patrick, is the evening news program that informed Catholics turn to 5 nights a week to get the truth. It's an honest, unbiased look at the day's events, highlighting exclusive live reports from the Vatican, the White House, and even Capitol Hill, covering the stories others don't and asking the questions others won't. Let's hear more from News Nightly's own Brian Patrick himself. Brian?
Doug, 2015 began with a bang. Our global coverage of the apostolic journey of Pope Francis to Sri Lanka and the Philippines, followed immediately by the March for Life here in Washington. A more life-friendly Congress is trying to push through legislation to further limit abortion in the U.S. We're covering that, along with the Supreme Court's religious freedom and redefinition of marriage cases. Oh, by the way, the Pope has announced that he'll canonize Blessed Junipero Serra when he comes to the U.S. in September. We're almost certain now that Francis will not only visit Philadelphia for the World Meeting of Families, he may also address a joint session of Congress here in D.C. and the UN General Assembly in New York. Wherever he goes, we're going to be there too. We'll report on the war on terrorism, immigration reform, the environment, the economy, and all the news. And of course, there's the political sparring between Congress and the president to watch. Also, who emerges from the pack as the 2016 race for the White House narrows this year? Global coverage, Catholic perspective from EWTN News Nightly, weeknights here on the Global Catholic Network. Doug?
So now that you're up to speed on the day's events, join the one and only Raymond Arroyo for our ever-popular weekly news program, The World Over Live. Here you'll find the unique cultural insights and perspectives that Raymond is known for. His exclusive interviews and timely, in-depth analyses make this program appointment viewing. Always cutting edge, it's always thought-provoking, The World Over Live continues to this day to take on the tough issues while shining the light of truth on all that is seen and unseen. Ray?
Doug, we're looking forward to a great new season of The World Over. As always, we bring you the interviews you don't get to see anywhere else. We'll be talking to Academy Award-winning director William Friedkin. We'll take you down to New Orleans for the musical family. The Marcelluses, Ellis and Delfio will join us, and much more. Of course, the breaking news each week. We delve deep, only here on The World Over. Doug, back to you.
Our weekly Vaticano program takes you to the heart of the Catholic Church with a comprehensive roundup of the week's events direct from the Eternal City. Keep up on all the latest doings of the Holy Father and the Holy See. For the past 3 years now and counting, the National Catholic Register has been voted the nation's best Catholic newspaper. You know, the Register is the Church's paper of record, provides in-depth reporting on Catholic topics either ignored or distorted by the mainstream press. This type of thoughtful reporting crosses over into the radio realm as well via Register Radio. It's a popular radio program hosted by the newspaper's Jeanette DeMello and Dan Burke. As evidenced by our wall-to-wall reporting of Pope Francis's recent trips to Sri Lanka and the Philippines, you know that no other network gives you the complete coverage of the papacy that EWTN does. We are proud to bring you the live papal and religious events that you want to see, and we pledge to continue that into this spring as well, whether from our satellite offices in Washington, D.C., in Rome, or our brand new office and studio in Orange, California. You know, this spring, we'll continue bringing you Catholic events from all over the world, whether it's happening in Fatima, Lourdes, Rome, or the Holy Land. You can count on EWTN to cover the news and late-breaking events of importance to Catholics. That being said, you can turn to us for the most complete coverage of the Holy Father's first ever visit to the United States. He's coming for the World Meeting of Families this September in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We'll be there. Besides our live events, we also have a brand new spring programming lineup filled with animated features and specials for teens and young people, movies and seasonal presentations for the entire family, not to mention a host of ongoing programs and series that you already know and love. Let's take a look at our upcoming spring lineup. First up, theologian Dr. Edward Shree leads a team of dynamic teachers who provide a clear, comprehensive explanation of the Catholic faith in an exciting series they've called Symbolon.
So there is a reason you are here, taking time to learn more about the Catholic faith. It's because God has brought you here. You see, God has been with you in your life all the way up to this point, and He's going to be with you as you move forward, as He desires to take you deeper in relationship with Him and into the beauty and mystery of the Catholic Church.
And speaking of the wisdom of the faith, no one passes it on quite like our beloved grandparents. Hosted by Father James Mallon and produced in Canada, the series entitled Grandparents focuses on the all-important influence grandparents can have in shaping the faith of their grandkids and extended family members. You'll be inspired by these elders in the faith and their thoughts on how they live out their new vocation.
My grandfather prayed for us all the time, especially in his last days. He was praying rosaries for us all the time. So before he passed away, he would pray a rosary for each of his grandchildren that we would encounter the Lord. He would never, ever let it on that he was in pain or that he was having a hard time, but he offered it up to use his pain for the conversion of us, for the conversion of his grandchildren.
Young and single, well, we have a series for you as well. At the Heart of Relationships is designed to help you navigate today's often confusing dating world and ultimately find that true love. Father James Dean and Sarah Swafford guide you in how to achieve a meaningful, happy, and stress-free relationship. Their 7-step process starts with acquaintances, true friends, and defining the relationship, then on through dating, courting, engagement, and marriage. If you're looking for a spouse or know someone who is, you'll want to catch this series. It's coming in May.
The quote that I really want them to settle into their heart is, strive to become the woman of your dreams and you'll attract the man of your dreams. Because when you're striving to be the woman that God has called you to be and who you feel you're called to be, man, like you really are starting to live for what, who God wants you to be. The guy that falls in love with you is going to be so ridiculously attracted to her for who she is, not who she's not because, he's trying to change her and all, it's all that manipulation. No, just for her.
One of my very favorite hosts, Father Robert Spitzer, is back with another new series, Virtue, Freedom, and Faith. Father Spitzer tackles the spiritual struggle between good and evil, the devastating consequences of the 7 deadly sins, the question of freedom, and the real beauty of a life of virtue. You don't want to miss this thought-provoking weekly commentary on the culture. It's entitled Virtue, Freedom, and Faith, and it's coming in June.
We're going to be talking a little bit about how there's a decline in the notion of virtue and morality and moral objectivity in this series. And then we're going to talk a little bit about how can we restore those notions of virtue and moral responsibility and the whole sense of objective ethics in our culture.
Also coming in June are new episodes of Fields and Faith with Bob Dolan. Bob will continue to spotlight sports figures of extraordinary skill and talent who are daily striving to make a loving relationship with Christ a top priority in their lives. They'll share with Bob how their strong Catholic faith has played an invaluable role in their lives and even in their success in the sports world. In the world of Catholic radio, our worldwide EWTN radio network continues to feature favorites like Register Radio, The Catholic Connection with Teresa Tomeo, Open Line, and The Al Kresta Show. And our newest addition to the radio lineup, Call to Communion with host David Anders, has now expanded to 4 days a week, bridging the theological and spiritual gap that can exist between Catholics and our non-Catholic brethren. It reminds us that we are all called to communion. Go to EWTN/radio for additional information on our programming lineup and network outlets. This spring, you can look for an array of inspiring Catholic films, seasonal dramas, documentaries, and miniseries that I know you'll want to watch and you'll want to tell your friends about them. We invite you to drop by the Philosopher's Bench. EWTN brings together 2 of the top minds in Catholicism, Dr. Thomas Howard and Dr. Peter Kreeft. These longtime friends' freewheeling discussions cover everything from the moral law to society to the importance of Christian themes in fiction. So take your seat at the Philosopher's Bench.
Most modern students appeal to their feelings. Conscience is a feeling. If it feels good, do it. But deep down, I think they know that's not true. They know that some feelings are just bad feelings, feelings of hatred, feelings of arrogant superiority. Yeah. So you can't totally suppress that conscience. There are some things you can't not know, so it's still alive.
The way God has revealed himself to us is in a, quotes, mythic way, in the following sense, that it's in a narrative. He didn't hand down volumes of abstract principles. He said, once upon a time, God planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there was a man. He made a man out of clay, and he made a woman, and so on. You are never 2 inches away from the concrete reality thing, and yet everything is at stake.
We're also pleased to be bringing you a new installment of the popular miniseries, The Papacy, A Living History. Our host, Father Richard Kunst, gives us a deeper understanding of the office of the papacy while using his own priceless collection of papal artifacts as teaching tools. You know, we've all been in that awkward situation at one time or another of having to field a question from a non-Catholic that we just can't answer. Well, never let this happen to you again. Try on blue-collar apologetics for size. In this mini-series, EWTN radio host John Martinoni crosses over to TV to share his tried and true methods for defending the Catholic faith. It's apologetics for the man on the street.
Be a good student and start asking questions. Stop answering questions all the time and start asking them. Learn how to answer questions with questions, just like Jesus did. He was asked, "By what authority are you doing these things, and who gave you this authority?" How did he answer? He answered by asking them a question. Was John's baptism from heaven or from men? Jesus asked. They never answered him. Answer questions with questions, just like Jesus did.
Saints versus Scoundrels. It's a series which presents lively debates between the most interesting, influential saints and sinners of all time, and it's back with new episodes this season. Host Dr. Benjamin Weicker welcomes to his private study the great martyr St. Thomas More, who takes on King Henry VIII. In another program, it's Flannery O'Connor taking on Ayn Rand for a lively dialogue about their beliefs, impact on history, and what happens when you reject God.
You taught me the lesson more than anyone. Why Caesar in Christ must be kept separate. Why Caesar may never be allowed to rule over Christ.
Have we not been taught by that same Christ that we render unto Caesar what is Caesar's?
And not a bit more, your grace. And not a bit more says more. I serve you best by serving God first. How do I even now serve you with most loving loyalty?
And let's not forget that Lent is right around the corner. So stay tuned to EWTN to see a host of special Lenten programs, including all new Lenten reflections coming to you from the Cathedral of St. John the Evangelist in Portsmouth, England, where Bishop Philip Egan and the priests of his Diocese of Portsmouth speak on Lent as a pilgrimage.
Remember the words of the minister on Ash Wednesday. Turn away from sin and believe in the gospel. We remind ourselves what really matters and what our ultimate purpose is, what our destiny is, to return to dust and to the God who made us, to Him who is the goal of all our journeying.
Feel like getting involved in your faith? Well, the Church Universal will again spotlight the major outreach groups serving the church and the world today. While with Vocation Boom, we'll help young men discern whether God is calling them to the priesthood. The Church and the Poor, with our good friend Father Richard Holong, features the volunteers and missionaries who come to serve the poor through Christ and His church. Visit EWTN.com for dates and times of all of these programs and many more. You know, viewers often tell us how much they have discovered about their faith by watching EWTN programs. This spring, Bishop Jan Leeson of the Diocese of Breda in the Netherlands reflects on the image of Jesus as beloved bridegroom of the Catholic Church. We invite you to listen to the voice of the bridegroom. And of course, we're bringing back the unstumpable and unstoppable dynamic duo of Father Ken Briganti and Father John Trigilio to answer your questions about the faith on their newest edition of Web of Faith 2.0. And if you don't get your questions answered by them, then by all means, grab your catechism and tune in to Father Charles Connor. And speaking of books, don't forget to check out my program Bookmark for weekly interviews with your favorite Catholic authors. Our EWTN live shows continue to be very popular with all of our viewers. Now, radio hosts Jim and Joy Pinto have moved to TV Land, where they now welcome guests to their new home every Thursday. Drop by for a cup of coffee and some lively conversation on topics affecting marriage and the family. Look for At Home with Jim and Joy live each Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern and again on Fridays at 5 p.m. The Journey Home with Marcus Grodi is one of the network's most beloved weekly programs. It's so popular, in fact, that EWTN not only brings you a new episode each Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, but also airs the best of The Journey Home during the week. You'll be inspired by powerful conversion stories as Marcus's guests reveal what led them home to the Catholic Church. Sunday Night Prime continues with our friend and trusted EWTN favorite, Father Andrew Apostoli, in the host seat. Likewise, our resident Bible scholar here, Father Mitch Pacwa, leads thought-provoking discussions on church documents and papal encyclicals on Threshold of Hope. And of course, he'll still be hosting guests from around the world and taking your calls every Wednesday evening on EWTN Live. Life on the Rock with co-hosts Father Mark and Doug Barry is back, spotlighting young guests who talk candidly about subjects impacting the next generation of Catholics. Jeanette Benkovic continues to unpack the treasures of being a woman and the beauty of femininity in new episodes of Women of Grace. And if you like that program, you may want to sample the Catholic View for Women, also returning this spring. It certainly goes without saying that there would never have been an Eternal Word television network without our beloved foundress, Mother Mary Angelica. Every weekday at 10 a.m. Eastern, spend your mornings with Mother as we continue to share Mother Angelica's timeless advice and counsel with a whole new generation around the globe. Join EWTN's Vice President of Theology, Colin Donovan, and his EWTN staff of theologians as they drill down into the core meaning of church teachings on a wide range of social and moral issues on the program EWTN Theology Roundtable. Children are the future of the church, and EWTN is there to help mold that future. Let's take a look at some programs produced by us specifically to aid you in passing along the faith to your children. One of our newest series is My Time with Jesus. This animated program features 4 children who imagine themselves into various gospel stories while learning the teachings and traditions of the Catholic faith along the way.
When someone wants to build a house, they have to lay a foundation so that it doesn't fall. If the foundation is on sand, the building can fall down. That's why a foundation should be built on rock, so it's strong and can support the weight of the building. That's why Jesus wanted to build his church on top of a rock, which was St. Peter.
Now I know why he called him Rock. Because St. Peter was the foundation of the church and he had to be very strong.
Exactly. Strong as a rock.
I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven. Whatever you bind on earth shall be considered bound in heaven. Whatever you loose on earth shall be considered loosed in heaven.
Also in the spring lineup, all new episodes of the huge favorite Cat Chat. And in development is a series on the Mass featuring the one and only Donut Man, Rob Evans. Following all the positive feedback you've given us on the successful mini-series we did on the Crusades, in the future look for programs on the Spanish Inquisition and also a program on a Catholic approach to new media. Also, please continue to give us feedback on what you want to see. This network is brought to you by you, and we encourage you, our family of viewers, to continue to email us your questions and comments to viewer@EWTN.com. We also want to announce an all-new toll-free number, 1-800-447-3986, that you can use as well. Or maybe even better, instead of giving us a call, as part of our EWTN family, we'd love you to come by and visit. A pilgrimage to both the Shrine and EWTN will give you the opportunity to enjoy the unique experience of a live show and even see and meet some of your favorite EWTN hosts. Pilgrims will also find a place for prayer and quiet contemplation among the gardens, paths, and grottos around the shrine itself. To find out more about visiting EWTN or perhaps to plan a full group pilgrimage, go to our website, www.ewtn.com/pilgrimage. And if you can't come by EWTN, then why not let something from EWTN come to you? You can buy a holy reminder from EWTN's religious catalog that will be delivered to your very door. Enjoy our weekly EWTN Religious Catalog TV program with its all-new dual-host format and see the many holy reminders we offer to help enrich your spiritual life. Remember, every purchase from Mother Angelica's religious catalog not only helps your own family, but provides direct support to your TV family here at EWTN. EWTN's Religious Catalog's web store has expanded and now can be accessed through our secure state-of-the-art website, EWTNRC.com. That's EWTNRC.com. Since its founding, the network's mission has been to share the truth of the eternal word with the world. EWTN in many ways has fulfilled Mother Angelica's dream by going global with the media message of the gospel, and now we need your help to continue this apostolate. As Catholics, each one of us is called to live, pray, and spread the gospel. Being a member of EWTN's Media Missionaries is a perfect way to fulfill this calling from Christ to make disciples of all nations by using the media. As a media missionary, your aim is to share the blessings you and your family have received through EWTN with your extended parish family. Now, there are so many ways to help. Everyone has something to contribute. You can find out more information about this at our website, www.EWTNmissionaries.com. There you'll find a wealth of resources to build up your spirituality as a modern-day missionary. Again, that's www.EWTNmissionaries.com. And certainly, if it's not possible for you to support us with your time, then your treasure is an equally necessary part of this apostolate. As you can imagine, it costs a lot to maintain this worldwide, multilingual, multi-channel Catholic media outlet. So please keep us in your prayers, and as Mother Angelica would say, if you can, simply keep us between your gas and electric bill. Be a foundational part of proclaiming the gospel to the world and telling everybody, as Mother Angelica would put it, that Jesus loves you. So there are several easy ways for you to contribute. To make an online donation, just visit our secure website at www.EWTN/donate and choose between making a one-time donation or a recurring donation of whatever amount you choose. Or you can make a donation by mail as well. Just send us a check or money order to EWTN at 5817 Old Leeds Road, Irondale, Alabama 35210. And help be a part of this global Catholic mission. And to stay informed on all of this that EWTN is offering, please make sure you get your Wings. Wings is our exclusive electronic newsletter highlighting EWTN television, radio, and internet programming. It's delivered to you weekly by email. Sign up for your Wings today by going to EWTN.com/everywhere and click on where it says Wings e-newsletter. And if you'd also like to receive our monthly paper newsletter in your mailbox in addition to your email box, just email us at viewer@EWTN.com and ask to be placed on our mailing list. These resources, along with our website, will guide you to all of our special seasonal and feast day programming throughout the year. This includes, of course, the spiritual offerings of our televised rosaries, the Divine Mercy Chaplet, seasonal litanies, and of course, the Mass. Remember, for more information about everything EWTN, log on to EWTN.com. There's even more to see and enjoy in the coming season, so stay with us and share in the splendor of truth with your global Catholic network, EWTN. I'm Doug Keck. Thank you for joining us.